Yo, what's going on, Nomads and Drifting Podcast listeners? I'm Brian.
And I'm Monica.
And welcome to the Backspace Nomads Podcast, where we share our nerd for video games, movies, and all the dork in between. This is episode 77 of the podcast. It is October 29th, and Monica has our question of the week.
Brian was too scared to ask this question. Okay, here's our question for the week. You wake up suddenly. A freezing breeze circles you, making a chill run down your spine. Something is not right. Walking to the bathroom for a glass of water, you see your beloved pet murdered and hanging from the rafters. You live in a barn. You can't look away. The drip, drip, drip of the blood paralyzing you. Suddenly, a noise from behind. You spin. Before you is none other than video game character extraordinaire, Blank, with blood on their hands. Too long, didn't listen? You probably just turned this off already. But what video game character gives you the heebie-jeebies?
All right, let's start the podcast. Well, Monica, what video game character gives you the heebie-jeebies is killing your beloved pet?
Okay, so this was a tough one because I feel like there's a lot of there's like plenty of video game characters out there that are creepy, right?
Yeah.
And that are intended to give you nightmares. But I wanted to go a little bit deeper than that, like thinking about like what types of characters are we around that like we would never suspect, you know? And so ultimately, I decided to go with the Chocobo.
The Chocobo from the Final Fantasy series, the adorable, the horse of the Final Fantasy series, really.
Yeah, but think about it, okay? They're birds. Birds are territorial. Like, think about a goose or like how crazy geese get. Like ostriches, like they can run really fast. They got weird, scrawny little legs like me, but they can actually run. I can't. Like, there's a lot of dangerous elements to birds out there. Okay. And I feel like chocobos, like, it's like the taming of tigers, you know? And then all of a sudden the tiger eats the trainer. Like, this is a chocobo that's ready and bloodthirsty and tired of the shit.
God, what happened between you and chocobos when you were playing Final Fantasy? What
They're
the
giant
hell?
Birds, man. Birds are kind of creepy a little. They're a little bit like, have you ever met anyone that has a bunch of birds?
No, I try to avoid those people, to be honest.
So like, you know, if you know somebody with an aviary, you're probably like, whoa, that's a little too much. That's what I'm saying. Like the chocobos, man. And plus, like, I don't know. I just feel like chocobos would definitely go after the pet first.
I'll be honest with you. I'm very excited that I made it until October 29th, and you're the first person that said the word aviaries to me. This entire year. This is the first time I've heard it, and I'm very pumped for this. I feel like it's an underused word.
Our word for October is also aviary, everybody.
Amazing. It's amazing. Well, oddly enough, Monica, because I think your chocobo idea is fantastic because you think birds are creepy. I also think I think the chocobo is really like a cat. They're ready to kill your pets at any time or your kids. So that was perfect. I think you're right. But for me, I had to stick, to the two-legged people, the human beings, to the creepiest of all the things that inhabit our lives, humans. But I stuck to Final Fantasy myself also.
Did you?
Now, oddly enough, and don't laugh at me too much, but I'm very empathetic when I'm watching or playing video games or watching movies. I can't watch the Saw series because I just put myself or people that I love, I put them in the scenes. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So growing up, Sephiroth was my most, like, I was so scared of that dude because when I was a young lad, before I knew what the real world was like, I would put my loved ones being killed by Sephiroth with his long ass sword instead of Ares. And so, like, when I think who's going to come kill, like, my beloved Huckleberry, my pet that I love to death, Sephiroth would come floating down with his majestic hair and just like take his long katana and kill my dog, apparently in the barn that we've set up in the scenario. So I can't deal with Sephiroth, man. He's a character that needs to go away.
Yeah.
He jeebs my heebs.
Yeah, he jeebs your heebs.
Yes.
Hey, listeners, who jeebs your heebs? Let us know in the comments.
In the YouTube comments below, leave who heaves your jeebs. Let us know. And we'll bring up your answers on the next podcast to talk about and see who has the best one. What kind of question is this? What are you doing to our listeners?
Well, it's our Halloween episode. I'm trying. It's everything we're doing today is spooky.
I feel spooked. Speaking of spooked, Monica, let's move on to our first topic. What are we talking about?
We're talking about two ghosts in the house.
Spooky.
Spooky.
Oh.
Spooky ghosts in the house. Okay. So there are, if you didn't know, here's the thing about ghosts. A lot of times people didn't really know them before they became ghosts, right? So you guys might think, hey guys, this isn't news. These aren't, who cares about these ghosts? But they are ghosts. Okay. Games, TM and Games Master are both gaming magazines that are ending. And they're going away, never to be seen again. You cannot go pick these bad boys up, read them cover to cover. It's just not going to happen.
No, and apparently no one was picking these up and reading them cover because their publisher said that these two organizations or these two magazines are no longer profitable. Their final issues, November 1st. In a few days, you're going to be picking up your last copies of these magazines. Monica, when's the last time you actually looked at a magazine, a gaming magazine, rather, like to be more specific?
I had Game Informer up until it was canceled.
How long ago was that? I'm sorry.
Oh gosh. Oh, I mean, probably like 5 or 6 years ago it was canceled.
Dang,
I would imagine.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it was quite a while. Now they kept it so like if you could sign up for them and get all of their content online. So it almost became like an additional service, kind of like IGN a little bit. But they moved away from the actual physical copies of Game Informer. And I'm not gonna lie, I was bummed about that. I loved my Game Informer. I liked sitting down on the throne and doing a little bit of good old fashioned reading. Two different types of business.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. Pooping and reading magazines. Gotcha.
That's what. Okay, you got it.
I kind of been sad they're going away, man. And I don't think I've picked up a gaming magazine in well over a decade.
Well, you're the problem then.
I know that. I know that. Like,
you can't be sad. It's like you're not putting any effort in, but you're like, don't leave.
But I want someone else, like the people who do enjoy it. I want them to keep enjoying it. Like gaming magazine to me, they're like vinyl records of the gaming industry. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I like that they're there. They give us a good perspective. Like they're beautiful. Like I remember picking up like these gaming magazines were like works of art when I was growing up. The way they're put together, the colors are fantastic. I love being able to have like bigger renditions of characters that aren't on a computer monitor. Like when it's in your hand and you like get it close, you're like, oh my God, the character looks cool. I love the design. I guess I'm sad they're going away. I don't know if there's a way they could have broke through to people like me to get me ordering them from month to month, but I'm sad that they're not going to be there. I mean, are there any left in the US that are worth picking up? I don't think there is.
Yeah, to be honest, I hadn't really heard of either of these, so I don't know if that says more about me than them. Listeners, let us know in the comments.
Hi.
But
you got a real knack for this YouTube thing, Monica.
But yeah, I mean, should they still be around? I don't know. Physical copies of things like this are really going away. I think that it's going to be more so like the zines and everything. Like you're going to have more totally indie, more local type of content if it even comes out. But it's a little tough because one of the problems that so many people have is like the content that's out there is so repetitive.
Yeah.
And it's because people aren't willing to invest in the journalism, even, this is journalism, it's gaming journalism, into looking into and creating original content. We've even talked about people that were just using other reviewers' content.
Yes.
And so it's tough. It's sad, but honestly, I was surprised that there were even 2 magazines that were ready to go out.
Yeah, I can't name any. I think the only one I know about is like I think GameStop runs one, and like that's an in-house magazine for them. I forget what it's called.
That was Game Informer, dude.
I thought they still had that going on. Is that still Game Informer?
I don't know. Maybe they changed it up. But
Yeah.
Game Informer was through GameStop, and then they canceled it, and it was all online. It's an online magazine now.
And I think that's
also known as a website.
What's that?
Well, it's like a magazine, but you go to the internet.
Like 2 things on this subject. One, I don't think magazines, I don't think there will be any left past like 2020 in the gaming industry. I don't think there's a point. Like these are old relics. No one's picking them up, and it's hilarious to me that the information about gaming magazines being shut down is being delivered on websites like Kotaku. It's just like an extra dagger in the back to like what is shutting them down.
Killed you.
Yeah, like
gotcha.
I'm not someone who thinks that like gaming needs an online everyday presence. I've really find myself when I pull up like Polygon or stuff, and we do a lot of research for this podcast, which we do weekly. It just looks like these people are stretching all the time to try and find content. So a daily like dose of gaming news just feels like we are stretching and digging for content in this industry. If you look at Polygon, they're mad about something else like every fucking day. They're mad about like the most obscure thing. You're like, oh, okay, I guess that's what, we're going to get upset about because we got to write about something. What I like about the magazine is something which I don't think they'll be able to adopt to an online presence, is that it's a monthly look at the gaming industry. Here's a step back from the day to day. Here's what matters. Here's what's important to you as consumers. Here's what's important to you to know from your developers. It gives us time to like, for an editor to really like have a scope of these are the things that's going to help you understand the industry and what you need, what is out there that you might be able to get excited about. Now that we're doing all this stuff day to day, I just feel like everything is getting lost in the fold because there's so much bad content and bad news out there to try and fill dead air that the good stuff, the good releases that I would be excited about, like they get lost to me. I don't know about them.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. There's something pure. There was always something pure about a gaming magazine,
Yeah, you would open it up and the light would just come shining out upon you.
The heavens splitting apart.
All right, let's move on and start talking about Dell. Someone who was close to being a ghost.
The vampire of gaming.
Spooky.
I don't... Wait, no. What was my accent right there?
I don't know. Are you like a Norwegian vampire?
The vampire of gaming. Now I'm Italian. Yeah.
That's good. No, you don't want to be an Italian vampire. You run into a lot of garlic over there. That is not a good look.
I give up. Anyway, Dell is the vampire of gaming. And we're going to
Dell the vampire of gaming because Dell has been on the verge of like going out of business. I think they stopped being publicly traded at one point. I think they're still off and they're getting ready to come back to the public markets now. They just reported that after a decade of owning Alienware, their gaming division is now worth $3 billion, billion with a B. That is 3 times the valuation of their competitors. And they split this up between their Alienware division, and they don't tell you how, but this is their Alienware and their cheaper G series computers. Dell did it, Monica. They're back. They went from that awkward like cow skin logo on a box to now they're like lighting your life up with gaming machines all over the place.
It's like Castlevania. Crazy. No, it is crazy. They're eating other companies, taking the energy from those companies.
Yeah.
And creating a new empire.
Mm-hmm.
I also was shocked that Alienware is worth that much.
Alienware is on fire right now, Monica. I just got done watching the Fortnite fall skirmish, the end of it. what I did notice, and I think it's because we had this podcast planned out, is that all the monitors being used there and all the PCs being used there. What did I see? That trademark Alienware logo lit up on the back of it.
Oh,
Every
no
competitor
way.
there, like they somehow like got their way back into gaming. Alienware, which like I feel like was like they were on the cutting edge of like custom cool PC gaming. They were like Razer before Razer even understood what it wanted to be and was like, we're gonna do this like cool gaming with like cool peripherals. Alienware was doing that. Dell bought them and like they went away and now they're back.
I don't know. I remember a long, long time ago, I wanted to buy a new PC and wanted it to be a gaming PC. And Alienware was so expensive and it wasn't even that great back then.
Yeah.
And I decided, no, I'm going to go ahead and build my own, enter in my enjoyment of building my own PCs now. But I guess it makes sense because more and more people are jumping into gaming and a lot of people do not want to build their own PC. So I guess it does make sense that they would. Yeah. You're raising your hand there. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I see it. But I guess it does make sense that that's the case. I'm just shocked by it.
I'm surprised by this article too. Not only am I surprised that like their business had picked back up on their gaming side, the fact that they said they were valued at $3 billion. How in the world are they coming up with that number? $3 billion? Is it like that, 3 times the competitor? So I don't know, like who CyberPower, iBuyPower, those are like the gaming PCs right now. Those companies are only worth $1 billion. Like, I don't know where they're coming up with that or how they're being so successful. While I see Alienware jumping up in places, I don't know anyone that owns it. Like, I just don't.
Yeah, that's true too. I don't know. There's some spooky shit going on down there, man. They're in their lair and they're just making billions of dollars in this lair, concocting potions and spells upon the normal populace. Don't do it, everyone. It's Dell. They were supposed to be dead years ago.
Are you throwing your hat in the ring to like be a voice actor on Castlevania season 2 on Netflix? Are you ready for this?
No, this is my normal voice.
All right, normal voice. Let's start talking about Counter-Strike in India and gaming competitions.
Okay.
Is this our hack and slash segment of the Spooky podcast? Oh my God, man. This is your idea, okay? I'm getting in character.
I like it.
Okay. Polygon is reporting that there was some shenanigans going on in the Indian Counter-Strike gaming. There was a massive competition that was a huge land for India. And turns out some of the Optic players, and by some I mean one individual, was hacking. He was found out on the main stage where admins had to come up and physically remove his hands from the keyboard as he tried to delete the hack files, which hilariously enough were titled word.exe. Hacking online in LAN competitions, Monica, 2018. Who'd have thought?
This is like the esports equivalent of doping.
It is. It's dope.
This is like finding out Lance Armstrong, except I didn't know who this other guy was until these articles. But it's like finding out that he did the bad things.
Man, I can't believe the balls on this kid to show up at a LAN event and be on the main stage and download
Was that a Lance Armstrong joke? Lance Armstrong joke?
Oh my God, I wish I was that funny. I really do. Like,
I was just checking because I wasn't sure, but I was like, that was pretty good.
The video, if people haven't checked this thing out, is one of the funniest like oops videos you're ever gonna see in your life. One of the admin walks up and starts talking to this guy. He slowly like tries to he puts his hands back on the computer. It's like really frantically trying to delete these files. His eyes are wide. And the admin, like just seeing the admin actually like snatch his hand away. Just like,
dude, that admin was like, not today, motherfucker.
Pretty much. That dude was serious. He was doing his job. Like snatch his hand out of the cookie jar. I don't know how esports at LAN events don't have systems in place at this point to double check that the peripherals that these people are plugging in don't have hacks, especially ones called word.exe. This was not an expensive hack. Most like really good hacks that you buy to go to LAN events, whatever, they will actually have like kill switches in it. So you just have to hit a key and like it kills everything and deletes it so that no one ever knows. This dude's getting like the cheapest like Indian aimbot he can find.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't. How prominent do you think this is?
Well, there's very like there's competing ideas. There's ideas that, you know, theories out there from conspiracy theorists for these online games that like all the pros are pretty much hacking and that like
Really?
that Valve knows about it and everyone's keeping on low because it keeps everything exciting, having these big, amazing plays. I don't think it's that prominent. It's pretty noticeable when someone's actually using hacks. There's little things you can look for if you've been playing games long enough. I don't think it's prominent at all. I'm pretty sure in like the North American scene, at least at the high levels, like we haven't seen this stuff in quite a bit. I could be completely wrong. If people are blowing me up right now and like just frantically like typing on the keyboards about how big of an idiot I am, I agree with you. It's just I haven't heard about this stuff, so this is why I'm talking about it into my microphone right now.
Nice out.
Thank
just
you.
in case.
I'm getting good at this podcaster stuff. I'm like, I can anticipate the viewers, and we're all friends again.
Yay! Ta-da!
So I really don't know where to go with the story other than to think like I can't even believe this happened. I'm glad it did. It's hilarious. And like I know this kid is, you know, he probably hasn't done anything that bad in his life, but just seeing him go through this awkward moment, it's like the Curb Your Enthusiasm like music's playing, and it's just like, yes, I live for these type of awkward moments in my world of gaming.
Well, the one thing is we're calling this the hack and slash segment, and you know, he's now been taken out, right? So it's like the end of the film, that the slasher is gone. But we always know that the slashers come back. And this is actually his second round in the pro gaming circuit.
Ooh.
Did you know? So do you think that he's got a chance at a third round at the hack and slash?
Depends how this did at the box office, I guess. All right.
We need to demand more of him in pro gaming circuits.
I know. I love this kid. He's so awkward. Let's go to break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about spooky video games. Right back, episode 77 of the Backspace Nomads Podcast. All right, Nomads, thank you for sitting through that break. This is episode 77 of the podcast, and Monica has a spooky game for us to play.
I do. I put this together. Brian has not heard what we're doing exactly yet, but I'm very excited. If you guys have ever heard of like Two Truths and a Lie, we're doing a kind of a combo of that, but it's called Two Spookies and a Truthie.
I swear to God, sounds like I'm not going to remember the night when you say it like that.
Yeah, you're not. You're never good. It's good. That's the aim of this. I figured if I confuse you enough, you wouldn't ever guess, right?
Yeah.
And I actually, the second round is Two Truthies and a Spookie. So just, you better make sure you're following this. Okay.
All right.
So what I've done here is I've gathered some real alarming factoids from the internets about gaming. Some of them are so alarming it almost can't be true. You know, is this a ghost tale that we're listening to or reality? I don't know, but we're gonna find out with Brian tonight. Okay.
Where did the spookies even end?
Where did the spookies even end? No. Okay, so
are you a Jim Henson puppet? What the fuck is going on over there in Ohio? The fuck?
So the first one's easy. Okay, so there's two spookies and a truthie, which means two of these are lies and one is the truth. Okay, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right,
I'm pumped up for this.
Link's crossbow training, in which you train to use a crossbow, has sold more copies than Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. That's number one.
Okay.
Again, there's 2 lies and a truth here. 2, Fable's initial sales were poised to make it the highest grossing game of the year before Christians deemed it satanic.
Okay.
And 3, Super Mario World was nearly banned in Switzerland because of concern that Yoshi could only jump so high due to doping.
All right. First off, you're an asshole. That last one is a spooky. There's no way anyone could think Yoshi's jump is put to doping. That's one of the weakest jumps I've ever seen from a raptor in my life. All right. He's the white person of fucking jumping in video games.
Okay, you got it. That one's not true. It's a
spooky.
It's a spooky.
All right. No. So out of the Link crossbow and the Christian and Fable story, I'm gonna have to say the Fable being poised for the best sale until the Christians. That's gonna have to be my Truthies, because I will never leave it up to Christian fundamentalist groups to fucking not go overboard with what they think is satanic. That's a Truthie.
Gotcha. I spooked ya.
Damn it.
I spooked ya. Yeah, that one is not a Truthie. The Truthie is that Link's crossbow training, in which you train to use a crossbow, has sold more copies than an actual game, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword.
Use my weakness against me. You know me too well. You knew I was going to pick that Christian one.
I did.
Why are people buying the crossbow game over an actual fully narrated story that's beautiful and amazing?
I don't know. Maybe they just want to get way better at, like the slingshots and stuff. Sometimes people are really bad at games and they need some practice.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, God. Okay. We're going into round 2. This one is two Truthies and a Spookie. So there's 2 truths and a spook here, and you have to pick the spooky. Okay.
I gotta pick the spooky.
You have to pick the spooky, not the truthy. All right. Nintendogs outsold every single Nintendo DS game with the lone exception of Super Mario Brothers. Nintendogs, just so you know, is where you have a Labrador puppy and you play with puppies.
I don't know about Nintendogs, all right?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just letting the listeners know.
There's a reason I do a gaming podcast, all right? I love Nintendogs.
The best-selling Metroid game ever is Metroid Prime. Luigi's Mansion outsold it by about 1 million copies.
Oh, shit.
Or 3, 12 million Kinects were sold within the first 60 days of its release.
What's a Kinect?
The Xbox Kinect, where it would watch you. Yeah.
How many were sold?
12 million.
Were sold in the first day.
Were sold in the first 60 days.
Oh, okay. Whew.
You're looking for the spooky.
I'm going to have to go with the spooky being the Xbox Kinect being sold with 12 million in 6 months. That's going to be my spooky.
60 days.
60 days.
But you are right.
Yes.
Now, I have to say this. They did sell 8 million within 60 days.
Oh my God.
They sold 8 million, and they sold 19 million by the end of the first year or something like that.
Were these sold separately, or are they counting the sales in with the actual Xbox? This is crazy to me.
They were sold separately, I believe. Yeah. People were just buying them like insane.
What is wrong with the gaming industry? What is wrong with the gaming industry? I don't understand.
They were possessed by the need to purchase a Kinect.
All right. I knew the Nintendogs was going to be a Truthie though. That thing was gangbusters. It was like the Tamagotchi of the Nintendo era. You know what I mean? Like the DS and that, like 100%. I'm actually a little surprised about the Luigi one though.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion. That's just so sad for Metroid Prime.
Why you gotta put what? Why? It's Luigi. Why you gotta put him down like that?
Sidekick. It's the freaking Sidekick's game still did better than Metroid Prime, which is considered one of the best games ever.
Why you gotta do my man Luigi like that?
I'm sorry.
A sidekick? Why not a co-hero? Okay, he's saving the day co-hero. Just like Mario.
Co-hero. Fine. All right. Third round. You're 1-1.
Ooh. I'm so excited. Oh, I can't do it. I want a spooky fun in there.
Okay.
I'm spooked up and ready to go.
Okay. This is 2 spookies and a truthie. Okay. We switching it up again. So there's two lies and a truth in this one. All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you ready?
So ready.
The Wii series has sold nearly 5 times more than the entire Legend of Zelda series. 2. Single white males between the age of 19 and 24 spend an average of 62 hours a week playing video games.
Whacking off.
3. E.T. for Atari was a game so terrible it is widely blamed for the cause of the video game industry collapse in the early 80s.
So I'm looking for 2 spookies?
You're looking for the truthie. There's 2 spookies and a truthie.
All right. I'm going to say that E.T. being such a terrible game is to blame for the collapse of the entire gaming industry as we know it, and is why we don't have a gaming industry today. That's my truthy.
You're right. You're right. Yep, you got it. You got 2 out of 1, so you win. The Wii series has sold 3 times more than the Wii series has been out for 6 years.
Yeah.
It is sold 3 times more, not 5 times, 3 times more than the entire Legend of Zelda series, which has spanned 25 years.
That's insanity. You know why? Because the normies love it, Monica.
Yeah.
That's the 98 degrees. That's the Britney Spears of the Nintendo, legacy.
Okay.
Legend of Zelda is like a majestic Bob Dylan type of character.
Yeah, you're right. I can see that. I like it. And then the single white males thing, I just completely made up. So there's no facts behind that. I didn't adjust anything. I just threw it in there.
Monica's just trying to get us on the hit list of all the incels out there who are creating YouTube channels to talk shit about the social justice warriors. Thanks, Monica. Here we go.
You're welcome. All right. Well, you won. I guess I didn't get to spook you in the end. You got 2 out of 3.
I feel so good about myself right now. I feel spooktastic, really.
Oh my God.
All right. So it is the month of October. Halloween's right around the corner. So let's talk about the horror genre in general. I don't know why when I said general, I really thought about like a pumpkin with a general hat on. I'm sorry to make myself laugh like that during a podcast. I'm really embarrassing. Are you a big horror genre gamer? Are you a big fan of this stuff?
No, I actually do not like horror games. I get very scared playing them. And so when I used to stream, I would play them because people really like that. People really like people scared.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes gamers like kind of amp it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually cried one time playing one of the games because I was so upset because I was freaking out and chat was being mean to me. And I was just like, no one's my friend right now. And I just had this very vulnerable moment where I'm like, I'm playing this for you guys and you guys aren't even nice to me. And it was a little bit of a breakdown. So yes, I do not really like horror games, but I've played quite a few of them just because, I don't know, people like it when I cry, I guess.
You had a weird chat going on back in the day. What the hell? I don't know how I feel about the horror genre because there are some games that like I get into and like I'm hook, line, and sinker, and I'm like, I suspend my disbelief, and I'm like, I'm really in this video game, I'm really in this moment, and like things are stressful. I feel like I'm in an MTV music video right now. What the hell's going on? Right? What do you got? Sitting on top of a lazy Susan? What's going on over there? Monica just shifted her entire camera. It's the spookiest thing on this podcast.
We might have to restart this.
We're not restarting this. This is in. This way the cut. That's some good shit right there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so oh man,
my positioning must be haunted.
This isn't happening. Is that a mirror on your wall? What the hell? Oh, this is the weirdest episode we've ever done.
Yeah, it is.
Oh man, what's the scariest game you played?
The scariest game that I've ever played was probably Outlast.
Yeah.
I might have even talked about this on like a super early episode. But Outlast is you're in this old insane asylum. And everyone all
sounds relatable.
It just gave me flashbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in this insane asylum, and all these guys are like real messed up. They're like kind of mutilated and everything, and some of them like aren't wearing a lot of clothes, and some of them want to rape you, and I didn't really like that.
Yeah, no, that probably wouldn't be a good game.
I didn't really like being chased around by somebody who said that they wanted to rape me. So
well, my scariest game is from a more wholesome period of gaming, where
Luigi's Mansion. You were part of that problem.
Yeah, I loved it. Okay, whatever. It's spooky. There's a lot of jump scares. The game's a bit dated now, but back in the day on like the original PlayStation, I think it was either PlayStation or Dreamcast. It's gotta be PlayStation. The original Resident Evil. I played that thing late at night when I was young, and it was the first time a game ever like really jump scared me. I can remember it specifically. You're walking into this room and there's like this big window, and all of a sudden those like mutated dogs that can crawl on walls like shoots across the window. And that was like my first, like I jumped, I was startled. I left the room. Like I had to take a breather and like come back to that game because of that. I never knew video games could do that to you. Now it's a little bit different for me when it comes to horror games. I'm not as easily susceptible to that stuff. A game really has to, the jump scares really don't get me in video games anymore, but like oh my God, that was like a moment in gaming where I was like, this is the greatest game of all time. I don't think it aged that well, but it did start the trend of like horror games are a thing in the 3D environment that you should be looking at.
It definitely did. I wasn't allowed to play it, so I didn't get that opportunity as a youngster, unless I was just going through like the black market, which was also known as my friends' houses. But yeah, but I do understand, and I know a lot of people had similar reactions to that game, that it was so powerful and it was so new and unique and gritty, and it felt like there's one element to horror games is that you want to have control, but a lot of horror games don't give you as much control as you'd like to have. So you're in this setting where you feel somewhat powerless, and at least in Resident Evil, you can fight back, but sometimes it's super difficult to, and it does leave you this sense of powerlessness, which I don't think anyone really likes feeling,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could see that. I think that most of my horror games came after I moved out of the house, and my mom could no longer have her clutches on me like a dirty harpy. But I love you, Mom. But
you say harpy?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to double check there. What about
But
2018? Do you think any good horror games catch your eye this year?
yeah, so I feel like horror games are kind of in the same. So they've moved in general. I feel like they've moved away from a lot of the Resident Evil type games. Like Resident Evil to me is no longer scary.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
it's story based. You know kind of what to expect. It's going to be fun, but it's not going to be anything crazy new. Um,
It's more like sci-fi now than it is like horror, if you ask me.
yeah. And I feel like horror games in general have gone towards more of like the shock
Yeah.
factor, the jump scares almost, But I've never really liked the games that are just purely jump scare based.
Mhm.
If you're just like it's like Five Nights at Freddy's or that type of deal that it's been in the past, those types of games don't really appeal to me. I mean, yes, they do make me jump, but I don't enjoy them. But there is a game that came out in 2018 called Visage, and it's very interesting to me. You're running through a house, the doors and everything are changing. This is following a very similar game that came out actually. I can't remember the name of it. But it was a Kickstarter, I think, in 2016.
Okay.
Visage was. But there have been other games like this. It just seems like the premise that they're taking is like on a whole new level, and it's a psychological game too. So rather than just running through some weird, creepy situation, you're going into these other elements of the game that are just really beautifully done, but
Mhm.
still horrendous. I think that I would enjoy the artwork behind the game, and I'd still probably crap myself.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check out what you're talking about, because I didn't see anything that really like caught my eye this year. Nothing that's been released has really been that exciting to me. There's been things in the horror genre in terms of like really good vampire based games, but nothing that's like a suspenseful thriller or anything. I just feel like it's kind of a dead year, but apparently you got the hot news on what's going to be spooking us for the rest of the year.
It's been really, it's been really well received. Really good ratings across the board. It's also by the same company that did the PT trailer.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I know that was like a big thing, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, this was horrifying," but this is a full game.
Yeah.
So, I think if you like that genre, this is a game to check out for sure,
Sounds
especially
good.
with Halloween right around the corner.
Ooh, I can't wait. I'm actually gonna look into it because I need a good horror game to play for Halloween. All right, that's gonna do it for episode 77 of the Backspace Nomads Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, leave a subscription so you can come back next week for the podcast. And see you guys later.